Your enemies and envious detractors do not know it yet, but you have become invulnerable to the effects of black magic. You may not yet fully realize it yourself, but something monumental has occurred in your life. The higher powers have moved you to a new level of divine protection, and the reason behind this shift might shock you. The truth is, you have walked through the darkness for too long and endured too much. At some point, reality itself seemed to say, "Enough." This is neither luck nor coincidence. It is a turning point in your destiny that changes everything. Think back on the past few months, and you will notice subtle changes that initially seemed like trifles. People who once held sway over your mood have suddenly lost their power over you. Words filled with malice no longer wound. Instead, they seem to dissolve in the air before reaching their mark. Even situations that used to derail you now pass you by, as if an unseen hand is parrying the blow. This is more than just personal growth. It is a potent, active shield from the higher powers already working in your favor, for you have become something more than just an ordinary person. Your enemies, however, fail to grasp this and continue to act according to their old patterns. They still attempt to influence you, sending negativity, envy, and hidden curses, believing everything remains as it was. But their actions no longer reach their target, which begins to both irritate and frighten them simultaneously. You have likely noticed how some of them have begun to act strangely, nervously, or even aggressively. This is because their own energy is rebounding upon them, and they do not understand why. For the first time, they are facing the fact that you are no longer accessible to their influence. There is a reason this happened exactly now, and it is deeper than you think. You have passed through stages where you were broken, tested, and tried for strength, and every single time, you refused to surrender. You may have felt your strength waning, that you were on the very edge, yet you did not betray yourself. That steadfastness became the key. Chosen one, protection is not granted without cause. It is earned through internal transformation. You have changed so profoundly that you are now incompatible with the destructive currents directed at you. Darkness cannot take hold of one who no longer resonates with its frequency. This is where it becomes most intriguing, for this protection acts not only as a shield, but as a mirror. Anything sent your way with ill intent no longer settles within you. It reflects back. You may have noticed certain individuals facing sudden problems, conflicts, or unexpected failures, without any apparent cause. This is not revenge or punishment on your part, but the law of balance, which has engaged automatically. You are no longer a participant in this game, yet the rules still apply to those who sought to harm you. At times, you may doubt yourself, thinking perhaps it is just a coincidence or that things are as they always were. But then moments occur that logic cannot explain, and you feel it at an intuitive level. It is as if something is guiding you, whispering warnings, steering you away from danger, and leading you exactly where you need to be. This is no illusion. It is the new reality you have entered. The more you accept this truth, the stronger this protection becomes. Chosen one, you have surely begun to notice how certain people are drifting away from you without explanation. They might have been close once, interacting with you daily, but now they seem to vanish from your sphere. This is not a loss. It is a cleansing occurring at a profound level. Those who carry destruction can no longer remain near you because your energy has become incompatible with theirs. They feel an inexplicable discomfort and choose to leave. But the most vital thing you must understand is that divine protection is not granted unconditionally forever. It strengthens or weakens, depending on your state of being, your thoughts, and how you live. If you begin to readmit fear, doubt, and negativity into your life, you will weaken this shield. Divine protection is not merely a gift, it is a responsibility that cannot be ignored. Chosen one, you may feel a new calm within you that was previously inaccessible. Even in tense situations, you remain more resilient, as if there is a foundational point within that cannot be destroyed. This is your new strength, and it is precisely what makes you unreachable for dark influences. When there is order in the soul, you can no longer be led astray from the outside. You have ceased to be vulnerable because you found a center that does not depend on external factors. But be vigilant, for when the darkness realizes it has lost access to you, it may attempt to act differently. Not directly, but through circumstances, through other people, or through doubts it tries to sow within you. It is vital not to yield, not to believe in fear, and not to return to old states of being. For it is upon this that your ability to remain at this level depends. You stand at the threshold of a new stage, and ahead lie things you do not yet fully grasp. The protection you have received is only the beginning. Behind it are hidden opportunities of which you are currently only being given hints. This new level of divine protection will initially greatly irritate your enemies, and they will try to do you much harm. But they will achieve nothing, for you are so powerfully shielded from the influence of negative energies that they cannot break through to you. However, on the other side, not only the evil they do toward you now will begin to return to them, but also what they did long ago. To the universe, there is no statute of limitations. It does not matter how they sought to harm you in the past, whether through magical rituals or simply malicious thoughts. From now on, anyone who wishes to cause you harm will receive a harsh response from the karmic boomerang. This is only the beginning of a chain reaction that has already been launched and cannot be stopped. Proof of this lies in the fact that you have begun to notice how events around you are becoming strangely synchronous, as if aligned with your internal state. What once required effort and struggle suddenly begins to fall into place on its own, as if an invisible force is removing obstacles from your path. This is neither luck nor coincidence. It is a direct consequence of your stepping out from under the influence of another's will. Where you were previously hindered or deterred, everything is now accelerating and aligning in the right direction. The more you realize this, the faster reality begins to adapt to you. But there is one important detail. Your protection does not simply reflect negativity. It begins to expose the true faces of the people around you. Those who previously hid their intentions will no longer be able to pretend. Their behavior will become obvious. You will begin to see hints, strange reactions, and sharp shifts in relationships that were previously concealed. This may be shocking, as you will see what was hidden from you for a long time. It is at this very moment that many experience internal conflict, because the truth turns out to be different from what they desired. People you trusted may reveal themselves from an unexpected side, which can shake your habitual perception. In this situation, it is important not to cling to old illusions or try to turn back the clock. For what is being revealed before you is a cleansing, not a destruction. It is a process that removes everything from your life that no longer corresponds to your new level. At times, it will seem to you that everything around you has become too sharp, even harsh, as if the world has become more demanding. In reality, however, it is you who have begun to see deeper and feel more accurately than before. Chosen one, your sensitivity has heightened, and you no longer miss what you once ignored. This makes you stronger, but it demands mindfulness, for you can no longer live on autopilot. Every decision you make begins to carry more tangible consequences. Parallel to this, you may notice the emergence of new sensations that are difficult to describe in words. Sometimes, it is like an internal signal warning you of something before it even happens. Sometimes, it is a sense that you already know how a particular situation will end, even if explaining it logically is impossible. This is not a fantasy, but a manifestation of your new level of perception. You are beginning to catch subtle processes that were previously beyond your attention. Yet, with this comes a trial that tests whether you are ready to hold this power. Situations may be intentionally placed before you to provoke emotion, irritation, or a return to old reactions. If you yield, you weaken your protection. But if you remain in a state of calm, it becomes even stronger. This is a delicate balance that you must learn to feel. You will also begin to notice how certain people will try to approach you again after having drifted away. They may act as if nothing happened, or even show unexpected kindness. But be vigilant, for not all of them have truly changed. Some are simply seeking a way to regain access to your energy. Here, it is vital not to be swayed by outward appearances, but to feel deeper. Chosen one, at some point, you will realize that your protection has become not just a shield, but a filter that refuses to let anything superfluous into your life. This applies not only to people but to situations, opportunities, and even the thoughts that come to you. Chosen one, you no longer accept everything indiscriminately. You begin to choose on a different level. This changes the quality of your reality to such an extent that your former life begins to seem distant and almost alien. But there is another turn of events of which you are not yet even aware. Your protection is beginning to influence not only your present, but also your past, as if rewriting its consequences. What once seemed like mistakes or losses suddenly begins to turn into new opportunities. Chosen one, you are beginning to see meaning in what once appeared to be chaos. This sensation overturns your perception of time and events. The further you travel this path, the clearer one thing becomes, something you might not have understood before. You are not merely protected, you are integrated into a process much larger than yourself. Chosen one, you are becoming part of a movement that changes not only your life, but the space around you. And when you begin to realize exactly what role you are destined to play next, you will understand that everything that happened before was merely preparation for the real journey. You have ceased to be convenient for others' manipulations, and this baffles your enemies. They can no longer predict your reaction because you have stopped acting according to old patterns. It is this very thing that causes them hidden tension. You may also notice how certain situations seem to test your honesty toward yourself. Previously, you might have compromised, yielded, or closed your eyes to things you disliked. Now, however, a clear sensation arises within that you can no longer do so, as if something forbids you from betraying yourself. This is neither weakness nor stubbornness. It is a new calibration that prevents you from returning to your past state. You begin to choose, not out of fear, but out of inner understanding. And this changes not only your decisions, but the very consequences of those decisions. Of course, chosen one, not everyone is ready to accept your new state. Some will attempt to pull you back into your former role because it is more familiar to them. They may remind you of the past, try to evoke old emotions, or trigger former reactions. This is an effort to keep you at your previous level. It is vital not to yield here, for a single wrong decision can temporarily knock you off course. But if you hold your ground, you will feel your resilience becoming even firmer. You will begin to understand that your strength manifests not in struggle, but in the ability to remain uninvolved in others' scripts. Previously, you had to prove, explain, or defend yourself. Now, such things become unnecessary. At some point, you may feel a new understanding of yourself forming within. This is not a loud realization, but a quiet knowledge that is gradually taking root. Chosen one, you are beginning to see your life as a sequence of meanings rather than random events. Everything that happened before is starting to fit into a single unified picture. This gives you a sense of grounding that cannot be destroyed by external circumstances. You are now under divine protection, but this does not mean you should relax and do nothing. On the contrary, this has been granted to you so that you may develop your spirituality even more intensely.